NFC playoff coming up shortly between the 49ers and the Washington Redskins. We will have it all for you, but as we said, important world events taking place. Let's go back to New York and Dan Rather.
And welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco for the NFC Divisional playoff battle between the Washington Redskins and the San Francisco 49ers. This is Dick Stockton along with Merlin Olsen. They have delayed the kickoff a few moments so that you could hear the CBS News special report and President Bush's remarks and questions and answers. And now it's time for football. And Chip Lohmiller will kick off for the Redskins. The 49ers have won the toss. They'll receive. Dexter Carter on the left and Spencer Tillman to receive. And we're underway. And the kick is a deep one into the end zone and will be down there for a touchback. And the 49ers will have the ball first. Joe Montana, who rises to the occasion in postseason with a 13-4 playoff record. And the rest of the offensive front for the Niners. Up front, Paris, McIntyre, Sapolo, Barton, and Wallace. Brent Jones is the tight end. Roger Craig and Tom Rathman are the running backs, and Jerry Rice and John Taylor the wide receivers. And the Redskins do not come out with a nickel defense on first down. Montana to throw on first down, and it's dropped by John Taylor. He was there. The Redskins defensively. Up front, Charles Mann, Tim Johnson, Darrell Grant, and Marcus Cook. The linebacking core, Andre Collins, the rookie, who's played well. Kurt Govea and Wilbur Marshall. And in the secondary, Martin Mayhew and Darrell Green are the cornerbacks. Todd Bowles and Alvin Walton, the safeties. Second down and 10. Raven Caldwell has replaced Darrell Grant up front. And a three-man defensive line for Washington. Rathman on a quick hitter, and Marcus Cook hits him at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Joe Montana, so much the key to this ball game. The San Francisco 49ers did not play well at the end of the season. Their feeling is that they can pick it up in this game, get back to playoff momentum. If they're going to do that, they have got to have a great game for Montana.
George Seifert, 28-4 regular season record, has never lost on the road. So the only defeats suffered by the Niners the last 2 years have been here at Candlestick Park. Mike Sherrard, who was just activated, goes in motion on third down and 10. Montana finds Jerry Rice. And Rice nearly gets a first down. Very close to the first down in marker. Andre Collins and Monty Coleman.
A real war going on between Charles Mann and Steve Wallace. Some bad words spoken earlier in the year between these two. And you can see right there a real battle as Montana slips out, and they almost picked up that first down.
In the meeting earlier in the year, the second game of the season, Mann was shut out by Wallace. And now Barry Helton, who has struggled, has the worst average in the National Football League, will be kicking. Joe Howard back deep for the Redskins. And a good kick this time by Helton. Fair catch by Howard at the 25. So the Redskins go on offense, and the cheers are for Barry Helton. Here's Mark Rippon. 13-3 in his last 16 starts, but one of those losses to the 49ers. The offensive front, Lachey, McKenzie, Bostic, Schlereth, Jacoby, Don Warren, the tight end. Ernest Biner is the lone running back when they use the posse of Art Monk, Gary Clark, and Ricky Sanders. Gerald Riggs opens up at running back along with Biner. Biner carries and gets a yard. They started with two tight ends, Ron Middleton and Warren. Charles Haley makes the tackle. 49ers defensively, Pierce Holt, Michael Carter, and Kevin Fagan, their three-man front. Haley, Matt Millen, Keith DeLong, and Bill Romanowski are the linebackers. Darrell Pollard and Don Griffin are the cornerbacks. Ronnie Lott back in action. And Dave Waymer is the strong safety. Ricky Sanders comes in, three wide receivers for Washington, second and 10. Rippon going deep, and Art Monk was the intended receiver, and Pollard was with him step for step.
Try to stretch him out early. Rippon likes to fire the ball deep. His numbers not as impressive certainly as Montana's. The thing he does best perhaps is to throw the ball deep. He's a big quarterback. He's a scrapper. He'll battle you. He does have a little of a problem with those short touch passes.
Rippon was sacked only 6 times in 10 games. 3rd down and 10. Rippon on a design rollout, and his pass intended for Sanders, and it is ruled a catch, and that'll be a 1st down, a gain of 14 yards for Sanders, who dropped 2 passes wide open against the Eagles last week. Bill Romanowski on the tackle.
Sanders, who's had some problems throughout this season, is a man that they wanted to get the ball to quickly. He comes down the middle of your screen right there, turns inside, and they feel that he's so important to them that they wanted to maintain his confidence level.
They're going to review that catch. It was a low play, and Red Cashin, our referee today, and they'll look at it upstairs. Bill Fetty is the replay official.
From that angle, it looked like a good catch. Ricky Sanders is a great athlete, and talking to Charlie Taylor, Charlie said he has had a very positive week of work this week.
Review by the replay official. The play stands. 1st down.
Joe Gibbs with a very impressive playoff record of 12 wins and 3 defeats. Only Don Shula and Chuck Noll have more playoff victories than that man. 1st and 10 for the Redskins on their 41. And the running play to Biner. Picks up nearly 5. Romanowski again on the stop. There's the man who's going to be the key offensive force for the Redskins, as he has been down the stretch.
The Redskins' personality is to show you all the formations, to show you the motion, but they want to pound you with that man and that big offensive line. They want to come right down your throat with the run game.
2nd down and 6. A lot of shifting, a lot of formations. Try to get the right matchup. Rippon has a lot of time, and his pass is caught by Gary Clark and knocked out of bounds into 49er territory. It's a 1st down. 11-yard gain, and Don Griffin on the stop. Gary Clark, who led the Redskins in receiving this season.
Clark was questionable coming into this game, a knee injury, an ankle injury, both, but he is their big play receiver. They've leaned heavily on him all year. He comes up with a big 1st down on this drive.
He did not work out for most of the week. 3 tight ends in there for the Redskins. 1st and 10 on the Niners' 44. Biner on the counter, gets some room, and Biner gets inside the 35. And finally ridden out of bounds by Ronnie Lott, but not before a big gain by Ernest Biner. 16 yards and a 1st down, and the Redskins threaten.
Good block by Art Monk. Watch him as they run away from Haley and go at Romanowski on this play. Raleigh McKenzie, an excellent block on Romanowski. Biner just breaks up inside. Let's go back and look at that block by Art Monk. These Redskin receivers will jump all over you.
Both teams blessed with wide receivers who block effectively. And a 1st down on the 28-yard line of San Francisco. Again Biner, and he's thrown for a loss, and that was Haley who knifed through. And Biner is stopped for a loss of 3 yards.
We asked that question of Mark Rippon yesterday. When you run away from Haley, are you going to cut him off? He said, we have to. If you don't put someone on him and block him, he's going to make it from the backside. And that is exactly what happened. Counter Trey, and he just ran it down from the backside.
Niners coming into this game with a semblance of doubt after struggling down the finish. They had nothing really to play for, and the Redskins finished strong. 2nd down and 13. Deep drop by Rippon. He's going deep. Wide open is Art Monk. Touchdown, Redskins. 31 yards, and the man he beat was Darryl Pollard.
They were successful with the corner pattern in the first ball game this year, and they felt that they could beat the corners here today. Pollard working right here on Monk. Let's see what he does. Does he give him a little move inside? No, fakes the out move and then breaks hard upfield. And Pollard bit on the first move. The complexity, the double move ate him up.
Chip Lohmiller has not missed a conversion in 41 attempts this year. And he puts the Redskins up 7-0. So Art Monk, who caught the go-ahead touchdown last week against the Eagles, puts the Redskins in front with 9:12 to go in the first. Redskins lead the 49ers 7-0. Art Monk with a 31-yard reception from Mark Rippon. 8 plays and 74 yards. Quieted this capacity crowd here at Candlestick Park. The lights are on here as we start. Overcast early, but the sun is trying to shine through now.
Redskins really felt that it was an advantage to them not to have a week off. They come into this game hot.
Lohmiller kicking off. The deep man is Carter. Dexter Carter on the 7-yard line. And he brings it out to the 22-yard line. It was interesting, Merlin, when we talked to both teams yesterday, the 49ers a little bit tentative because the way they finished and having a week off, but the Redskins came in brimming with confidence despite their loss earlier in the year.
It really is strange, and you get vibes off of these players. You wouldn't believe that 2-time Super Bowl champions could be nervous about this game, but I think the week off did hurt them, and there's no question in my mind that the way they played at the end of the season has created a lot of questions for the San Francisco 49er team.
And maybe more questions arise now with the Niners trailing. They start from their 26. Jerry Rice in motion. Quick pass, and it's caught by Brent Jones, the tight end. He's got a first down. Greg Minuski covering on the play and 13 yards to Brent Jones, who led the National Football League tight ends in yardage gain.
This Redskin defense, Richie Pettibone, their leader, says they're going to throw the book at Montana today. 3-man line, 4-man line, 5-man line. They'll mix the coverages. They'll come with the blitz. But the key to their success today is successful man-to-man coverage on those big 49er receivers.
And A.J. Johnson has come in as a 5th defensive back. 1st and 10. Montana's pass. It's caught by Jerry Rice, and Darrell Green with a takedown. Penalty marker down. It'll be a first down for the 49ers, and let's see if a personal foul has been tacked on.
I think they're going to call Green for sticking Rice's head into the ground. Now, Green gives up 6 inches of height to Jerry Rice, who's one of the strongest receivers in the league, but he picked him up and put him down.
This is going to be a battle we'll watch all day. Green against Rice.
Joe Gibbs wants to know why. There they are at the top of the screen. Number 28, Darrell Green, working one-on-one on Rice, trying to force him outside. He comes inside. Watch the end of this play. And this is what he's penalized for. Right there. Takes the man's head into the ground.
15-yard penalty, and the 49ers will have the ball in Redskin territory with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Redskins lead 7-0. First down for Joe Montana and company on the 36. Short drop, under pressure from Charles Mann, and the pass caught by John Taylor. And a first down at the 15-yard line. Bowles defending on Taylor, who had his best game of the year when they met earlier in the season.
In the slot, number 82, John Taylor gets out on Mayhew. Mayhew is the man that covers him there, but loses him as the second move gets him upfield, responding to the scrambling quarterback. These San Francisco receivers, excellent at reading Montana.
First down on the Washington 14. Here's Roger Craig with his first carry of the game. Craig was out 2 games with a knee injury. Earlier it injured it in the fourth game, and raring to go, gains 4 yards before Darrell Grant brings him to a halt.
Offensive coordinator Mike Holmgren told us yesterday, we're not going to spend a lot of time trying to prove we can run the football. We're going to throw the football. But the running game is going to be important today if Roger Craig can get it cranking. There's Mike Holmgren.
2nd down and 6. Ball is on the Redskin 11. Montana can't find a receiver, and he's down by Tim Johnson. That might have been a coverage sack as much as anything else, and Tim Johnson, who had 2 of the 5 sacks against Randall Cunningham last week there.
You need to get the pressure inside. Here's Johnson right in the middle of your screen, number 78. You want to put people right up in Montana's face. Get around him, push him, make him uncomfortable. He was in that situation. He simply had to pull that ball down after looking left and right.
Redskins have been very tough, 3rd best in the NFL inside the 20. Jumpy Geathers and Fred Stokes, couple of good pass rushers in the lineup. Montana out to Harry Sidney. Sidney knocked out of bounds short of the goal line by Brad Edwards. They'll spot the ball at the 1. But it'll be 1st and goal. They got the job done.
Montana with such a great sense of where that dump-off receiver is, although he really took a shot after he threw the ball. Watch it from the end zone. Montana looks downfield first. His receivers are not open. Watch how quickly he goes to that outlet receiver. And of course, Sidney is an excellent 3rd down receiver when he gets that football.
1st and goal on the 1. Rathman and Sidney are the running backs. Harry Sidney. And he's not going to get there. Try to go wide on the Redskins. And it was Wilbur Marshall along with Todd Bowles.
Marshall had the first hit. Actually, Sidney was able to get away from Marshall and almost leak into the end zone. Watch number 58, Wilbur Marshall, getting penetration here, makes the initial contact. But Sidney, who's a strong runner, pulls away and heads toward the goal line. He got some help in time.
2nd and goal. This time it's Rathman, and he's in for the score. Kind of a forgotten man as the season wore on, Tom Rathman.
Well, you don't forget about him when you need some muscle. This is his turf, goal line territory. Rathman in behind Guy McIntyre with an excellent block. Jesse Sapolo on the nose. Good job.
Led the 49er rushers with 7 touchdowns this year, and now Mike Kofer with Barry Helton holding, looking to tie the game. And with just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, the 49ers smartly come downfield and have tied this one at 7-7. Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen back here at Candlestick Park. Tom Rathman's touchdown has tied this game 7-7, and a similar scoring drive to that of the Redskins. 8 plays, 74 yards. The Redskins went 76 yards for their drive and used a little over 4 minutes. Michael Kofer will be kicking off for the 49ers. Here's Todd Bowles, one of the 3 players back for the Redskins, along with Joe Howard and Brian Mitchell. A little more overcast now as Kofer kicks the ball. It's a short kick, and it'll be Joe Howard at the 12-yard line. Howard brings it out just shy of the 30-yard line. Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The 49ers, who have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, The Redskins scored first, and the Niners have tied it up 7-7. Art Monk from Mark Rippon, 31 yards, put the Redskins in front, and then Tom Rathman went over from a yard out to tie it up, and we have an injured Redskin down on the 30-yard line.
Looked like it might be Middleton, one of the tight ends.
And if it is, they're going to lose a very important blocker on that offensive line. We'll be back. He helped off the field, was injured on that last play, and he'd be a very tough loss for the Redskins.
Maybe we can get a chance to see what happened to him here. Here he is right here, and watch for number 24, Harry Sidney, coming from the left-hand side of your screen as he blocks on Pollard. There comes Sidney, catches him on the leg right there.
So without the extra tight end, 3 wide receivers, the posse lined up. And actually they have 4 out there right now.
Watch the run play.
1st and 10 on the 30. Biner stopped by Fagan.
Earlier in the year, second game of the season, they did the same thing. The 4 wide receivers get everybody spread way outside and then take Biner and look for the hole inside. They don't find the hole here as the 49ers aren't biting. Get a good play from Fagan on the outside.
No gain on the last play. 2nd and 10 for Rippon on the 30-yard line. They have a stunt going. Haley can't get to him, and Rippon's pass is caught.
Face mask.
And a first down. Ricky Sanders makes the catch, and gambling for the interception was Ronnie Lott, and a gain of 18 yards. So Lott gambled on the play, and Sanders with his 2nd big reception of this first quarter.
Chance to watch as Rippon, who's had some problems with his ankle, said it was tender all week running outside. Look at Sanders, how open he is. That ball thrown late, and Lott, well, I thought he had the face mask. He may have had the shoulder pad underneath.
First down on the 48-yard line of the Redskins. Biner dives into 49er territory and picks up nearly 7 yards on the play. Kevin Fagan and Charles Haley on the stop. So the Redskins, who don't have Middleton now, going to Jimmy Johnson as that 2nd tight end.
Johnson almost the same size and an excellent blocker, but Joe Gibbs loves to use those tight ends in unique combinations, and this will take some of those combinations away from him.
2nd down and 4. And a play fake. Rippon has time, and his pass is nearly picked off. Ronnie Lott is running it back, and they rule it as an incompleted pass.
I'm going to say that Ronnie Lott trapped that ball, and we have a 49er on the ground injured on that play.
Gary Clark was the intended receiver, and Don Griffin was covering, and Griffin is the player hurt for the 49ers.
Let's watch this play develop. Clark coming down, working man-to-man on Griffin on this play. And it's as they go up together right here. See what happens as they come down. It looked like he came down on the elbow, perhaps. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Time for Rippon to throw that football, but that was not a great pass. Needed to put that one down inside.
Here's Ron Middleton, who is heading for the locker room. The Redskin tight end, badly limping. He had been the starter in most of the games since midseason. Meanwhile, on the field, Don Griffin is shaken up, and the 49ers can ill afford a loss in the secondary. Chet Brooks is out, and of course, Ronnie Lott has been hurt. We'll take a timeout from Candlestick Park and be back in a moment. Back at Candlestick Park, where the Redskins and the 49ers tied 7-7. Injuries have marred this first quarter. Don Griffin on the sideline. 6 defensive backs, including rookie Eric Davis, in the lineup on 3rd down and 4 at the Niners 46. Rippon's throw, and it's caught by Art Monk, and he'll have a first down. Ridden out of bounds by Kevin Lewis, and a gain of 13 yards. So the posse At least 2/3 of them getting underway in impressive fashion here in the first quarter.
Art Monk coming all the way across in motion. Number 81, you see him moving across the screen, and they're trying to bring Kevin Lewis, number 45, man-to-man, but Lewis got picked off by one of the other defenders, giving Monk room to the outside. I'll tell you, it's so tough when you're man-to-man trying to work your way through traffic and cover a man like Monk.
First down on the 33, not much for Ernest Biner, but there's a penalty marker down with 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Michael Carter made the tackle on Biner.
Looks like it's going to be against the 49ers.
Don Griffin has a bruised right shoulder, and it is probable that the 49ers starting cornerback will be back.
Number 78 on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
5-yard penalty marked off against Pierce Holt. So it'll be first down and 5, and the ball is marked at the 28 of San Francisco.
At the end of this season, Pierce Holt and Kevin Fagan, the best pair of tight ends in the NFL.
4 wide receivers on first and 5, and they run off of the 4 wide attempt. And Biner, getting close to the first down, is short by a yard. Michael Carter on the tackle. The Redskins down the stretch were impressive indeed, beating the likes of the Dolphins and the Bears and the Buffalo Bills. And then, of course, the victory over the Eagles last week. Stumbled against the Colts, but they're on a high right now.
They come into this game feeling very good about themselves. They earned it without any question.
Second down and 1. Biner won't get it. He'll lose some. Kevin Fagan twice has penetrated the line for the 49ers.
Michael Carter at the bottom of that stack. Joe Gibbs told us yesterday the difficult thing about this defensive line, they are so hard to keep blocked. You can get a block on them, but they get away from that block and get right back into the flow. Carter at the back of that stack, and Kevin Fagan just coming so hard as he does on every play to make the stop.
Dennis Brown and Larry Roberts come in the defensive line for the Niners on 3rd and 4. Rippon's pass intended for Monk, a bit high. He was double covered that time, and that will bring up 4th down.
One of the great matches today, you get quality players. Charles Haley, 94, Jim Lachey, both Pro Bowl bound. Whoa, necktie tackle. Red Cashin looking at that one, and Haley has to say, Red, what were you looking at?
We'll be looking at that matchup all day. Now a 44-yard field goal attempt by Chip Lohmiller. He's hit 11 in a row, and this kick is long enough, and the kick is good. So Chip Lohmiller now has kicked 12 consecutive field goals, and the Redskins regain the lead by a score of 10-7.
Since Jeff Rutledge became his holder, his only misses, he's 20 for 23, his only misses from 50, 52, and 54 yards. So Lohmiller really on a roll at the end of this season.
Chip Lohmiller was booting them from as long as 52 yards prior to the game. The winner of this game between the Redskins and the 49ers will advance to the NFC Conference Final, and they'll play the winner of the Bears-Giants clash tomorrow at Giant Stadium. It all begins at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time with the NFL Today. Lawrence Taylor and company against the Bears, Mike Tomczak and Jeff Hostetler, backup quarterbacks. What do you think of that?
I don't think they'll be in shirt sleeves for that one, Dick. And the big advantage to the Giants to be playing at home. But playing without their top quarterbacks, I give the edge to Chicago. Chicago doesn't depend nearly as much on their quarterback. They're more likely to depend on Neil Anderson than they are on throwing the football.
10-7 the Redskins. Lohmiller will kick off. Dexter Carter and Spencer Tillman back deep for the 49ers. Low line drive, end over end, sails again into the end zone, where it'll be down by Tillman. So Lohmiller has kicked off twice. And both kicks have gone into the end zone for a touchback.
This is something the Redskins have done so well on special teams. Wayne Sevier has these guys coming down. They put all their little speedsters in, and they have done a great job of covering kicks all year long.
Joe Montana, who only played one half of the 49ers' last regular season game against the Vikings, did not put any points on the board. And of course missed the New Orleans game with a groin injury the week before. Has completed 5 of 6. First down at the 20. Jump pass, Harry Sidney, and an ankle tackle by Alvin Walton. No gain on the play. They may give him a yard. Second down, and that may be the last play of the first quarter.
Joe Montana looking comfortable. One of the things you want to do to Montana, you love to push him to his left, but one of the good passes he threw earlier in this game was rolling left. That's not good news for Washington.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the score, the Redskins 10 and the 49ers 7. And welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco for CBS Sports coverage of the NFC Divisional Playoff game between the Redskins and the 49ers. We start the second quarter with Washington leading 10-7. Second down and 9 at the 21 for San Francisco. Montana. Pass is caught by Tillman out of the backfield. Well, Craig, that is, and Roger Craig has a first down, a gain of 14 yards. One of the dangers will be Craig as a receiver today.
Roger Craig, the pounding he's taken in the last 7 years has taken some of his running ability away from him, but he is still a most dangerous receiver on these kind of passing situations. And watch him pull out of this tackle by Alvin Walton right here. Just strong enough with those legs to pull right away and get the extra yardage.
Craig goes out, replaced by Harry Sidney. First down for San Francisco on their 35. Sidney gets the call. Harry Sidney with a good gain. He'll have another first down. Monty Coleman brings him down in a gain of 12 yards for a guy normally used as a pass receiver on third down situations.
Well, I think everyone expecting perhaps to see the pass here. They were crossed up as they came right back. They moved the tight end way out on that play. Brent Jones all the way to the sideline, forcing Alvin Walton as a safety to go all the way out and cover him. Of course, what they're trying to do is take that great run support from the middle of the Redskin defense, move them outside.
First and 10, Roger Craig back in the lineup. Craig up the middle. Picks up about 3. That'll bring up a third down for second down for the 49ers. Are you surprised that they are running as much as they are in this first half?
I think they're always going to mix what they do, but their emphasis is going to be on the pass game. It's just a matter of when it's going to come. They'll pop it. The one thing you have to do when you look down and you realize that there's a real chess match going on here. Richie Pettibone knows that he can't really match up all the way across against those great receivers, but he'll mix and match all day long to contain them.
Second down and 6. Montana under some pressure. Pass deflected, intended for Rathman. And Andre Collins downfield, and for the second time today, the Redskins got to Montana and put some pressure on him.
Marcus Cook, number 74, coming from the top of your screen, working on Bubba Paris. A good spin inside, and that's one thing you have to do. You get there, you bother Montana, you push him, you shove him, you let him know that you were there even if you were late.
Third down and 7, 4 wide receivers, including Mike Sherrard and Mike Wilson. For San Francisco and an extra defensive back for the Redskins. Montana chased by Charles Mann, but the pass is caught by John Taylor on a crossing pattern and a gain of 17 yards, and another Redskin is shaken up. Martin Mayhew made the tackle, and he's still on the ground.
Let's go down and look at that pattern. John Taylor just down and across with plenty of time for Montana on this play. Taylor just gets it and works all the way across the middle here. Mayhew covered him until he got the break, and there's no one in the middle to help him as he comes in underneath the deep help of the safeties. Safeties trying to jump him, but he just got into a little bit of an area there where there was plenty of room, and Montana, such an accurate passer, put it right in his hands.
First down on the 34 of the Redskins. Rathman and Sidney split backs. Harry Sidney on a halfback option pass. Going for the tight end, Brent Jones. And the pass is caught. It's ruled a reception and a first down inside the 10. Alvin Walton on the stop. So a gimmick by Holmgren.
A pass that shouldn't have been thrown and a catch that you will not believe. Walton has plenty of time. You can fair catch this ball, but watch it. Drops right into the secure hands of Brent Jones right there. That is a remarkable catch.
Harry Sidney is a former college quarterback out of Kansas. And they're going to review this one. It is first and goal, and the question is, did he have both feet in bounds?
A chance to watch his feet come down. Look at that right foot. It would appear from that angle that his right foot may have been on the line. This angle may give you a better peek at it. Yes, the foot is on the line. Now, question number 2, was he pushed?
Well, I think Walton was going for the ball.
Well, it's not a question of whether he was interfered with, but would he have come down if you didn't push him? I don't think it's a catch. My personal feeling is they're going to call that one back.
This is the second time they've reviewed a play here, and here is another look. Brent Jones with Alvin Walton covering on Harry Sidney's halfback option pass.
That one looked like it was thrown out of a silo. Straight up and straight down.
Play is ruled as a force out. It's first down.
He was forced out. Joe Gibbs doesn't like that call. It'll be a first and goal for the 49ers on the 6-yard line.
The rule is very specific. If he had not been bumped, the referee is saying he would have come down fully in bounds, both feet. Ooh.
Harry Sidney gets thrown for a loss of about 5 or 4 yards. Greg Minuski, who's a firebrand, one of the more vocal defenders on the Redskins defense, and a loss of 4 yards.
Number 91 right here in the middle of your screen. Watch him as he just drives up inside. No one even touches him. A blown assignment by the San Francisco 49er offensive line, and Minuski does a great job. Nice loss on the play.
Second and goal on the 10, and the Redskins are going to use this opportunity to call their first timeout of the first half. So the Redskins lead the 49ers 10-7, but San Francisco is threatening and will return to Candlestick Park in a moment. Francisco, the 49ers trail, but they threaten with 11:17 to go in the second quarter. Assistant head coach, but the defensive guru, Richie Pettibone, and this is where he earns his money.
You bet it is. Toughest yards in football, and the ball right nosed up on the 10, so they got all 10 with a second down.
Montana looking to throw, and the pass was intended for Rathman. And it was Alvin Walton who got to it. Good pressure that time on Joe Montana, and that will bring up third and goal.
Well, and how is our friend Jerry Rice doing in that matchup with Darrell Green? Green is all over him in this situation. That looks like basketball coverage, doesn't it?
Tight man-to-man. Kind of defense Bobby Knight likes to play at Indiana.
There's a man who's a little tight. George Seifert, to say the least. Yes. They were mad about those helicopters, wasn't he?
Third down and goal from the 10. Montana fires. Jerry Rice, touchdown. A lot of traffic. He caught that at the very back of the end zone.
Jerry Rice again, the tight coverage. The problem here, and it looks like there's a turnover there. They've got a double on him inside. Darrell Green turning him over to Todd Bowles, but Bowles simply didn't stay with him. Watch Montana. Hey, I don't think there are many quarterbacks that even try that throw.
Started a run and then threw it. Michael Kofer adds the conversion. And for the first time today, the 49ers are in front early here in the second quarter. But Jerry Rice's touchdown reception gives the Niners a 14-10 lead. Greatest season, caught 13 touchdown passes in the regular year. Caught this 10-yard pass from Joe Montana, and the 49ers, with 11:08 remaining in the second quarter, lead the Redskins 14-10. Michael Kofer getting set to kick off. Joe Howard, Brian Mitchell are back. Todd Bowles is in the middle. And it will be Mitchell returning for the Redskins. And he gets upended hard at the 22. And making the play was Harry Sidney.
A very physical game. John Keck, the umpire. Watch what happens when Mike Sherrard comes in running a pattern. Bam! Hey, this is a rough game. And Montana's look right into his eyes. He's got a quick glimpse of Rice, looks back to the other side, and then waits for the opening. All kinds of time. That's the key. But look how close Darrell Green was. Fractions of inches.
First down, Redskins from their 22. Ernest Biner has an opening. And Biner with a big gain gets it out close to the 40-yard line. Ronnie Lott applies the hit, but a 15-yard gain by Biner.
The counter tray play so effective for the 49er, or for the Redskins over the years, and that's exactly the play they run here. Watch from the right-hand side, pulling both the tackle and the guard. But what they do here is pop the play right up the gut. You've got the option of going inside or outside, and that's what Biner adds to this play. Dimension.
1st and 10 on the 37 of the Redskins. And a play action. Rippon's pass, incomplete. Gary Clark, the intended receiver, and Griffin, who was shaken up earlier with a bruised right shoulder, made the play.
Man leaves the ball game, comes back in. You got to test him out, and that's exactly what Rippon did there. One of Rippon's great strengths, his arm strength. He rifled that football, but Griffin with a quick reaction there to knock it down.
Second down and 10. Now they open up to 4 wide receivers, though one of them is Don Warren, a tight end. And here's the handoff to Biner, going outside, and Biner is stopped short of a first down by 2 yards. Darryl Pollard and Keith DeLong in on the stop.
Bill McPherson, the defensive coordinator for these 49ers, very explicit. He said the Redskins do the best job in football of spreading you out with passing formations and running the football. That's exactly what they did there. 4 wides. It's the same thing they did in game 2 out here earlier in the year.
Redskins lost that one 26-13. They have a 3rd down and 2. Rippon's pass incomplete. Clark was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down. '49ers defense holds. And Kelly Goodburn will punt for the first time today. And John Taylor goes back deep for San Francisco. Good high kick. Taylor is going to return it. A.J. Johnson missed him, but Taylor can't go anywhere and is ridden out of bounds at the 11-yard line by Monty Coleman. A 40-yard kick by Goodburn. Niners ball when we come back. The two oldest teams in the NFC battling here at Candlestick Park in a divisional playoff battle, and San Francisco leading Washington 14-10. Dick Stockton along with Merlin Olsen and the Fuji Blimp here today as well, giving you these pictures from atop. Captain Scott Yanniker and Gary Fabian, veteran pilots. Overcast afternoon. Niners with a first down on their 10. Craig went in motion. Montana trying to buy time and going deep for Roger Craig. And Craig makes the fine catch for 33 yards to match his jersey number. Alvin Walton.
You saw an earlier play with John Taylor very similar to this, where he broke away as Montana scrambles. This is such a well-disciplined team, and that's Montana at his best. What a great touch on that pass down the sideline. Excellent catch, feet down inbounds. Roger Craig doing a great job of catching the ball here today.
2 catches for 46 yards, and the Niners have done a good job on making catches right close to the out-of-bounds area.
The play is being reviewed. It's been ruled on the field as a catch.
I don't think that Red likes the idea that they're reviewing that. 2 feet down very clearly. I don't think that's going to take long to figure that that's a catch. Again, Montana able to hit the receiver even though he was well covered.
Following a review by the replay official, the play stands. First down.
Easily both feet in, and he had possession. So a first down for the 49ers. Dexter Carter and Harry Sidney now make up the 49ers backfield on the 35-yard line, and it's Sidney who earlier threw a pass that was caught by Brent Jones, picks up 3 yards. 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Jim Hannafin with the offensive line of the Redskins.
Sincerest form of flattery as the 49ers go to the counter tray play themselves. They did a lot of this during the playoffs last year. They ran it that last time with both the right guard and right tackle pulling in front of the play.
Good numbers for Montana thus far. 10 out of 13. Now faces second down and 7 on the Niners 46. Carter goes in motion, and Montana going for the tight end, Brent Jones, who makes the catch. Andre Collins let the ball go through him, and Alvin Walton made the save, 48 yards, but a blown play by the rookie from Penn State.
Collins has great position. He's there to cover this play, but he makes the turn at the wrong second here. Watch his head. He turns around just a fraction late, could not find the ball. Brent Jones knew exactly where it was. Walton there to save the TD, but they're down at the 7-yard line.
And the 49ers are threatening to open this game up here early. First and goal at the 7. Craig and Rathman, and it's Tom Rathman with the carry. And Kurt Govea nails him at the 9-yard line.
That's the counter tray again, a play that the Redskins run against and run every day of their practicing lives. They did a fine job of stopping it. Montana cranking it up in the playoffs as he has done so many times and recharging this 49er offense in the process. This is the kind of football they played in the playoffs last year, the kind of football they played in the playoffs the year before. There was an honest question. Could they do it again? Hey, they're doing it right now.
Second and goal on the 8. Montana's pass is caught And this will be an easy one for Mike Sherrard. He broke his right leg earlier in the year, has broken it several times, reactivated last night, catches the touchdown pass. And the Niners lead it 20-10.
9 weeks ago, they operated on Sherrard's ankle, put a 3.5-inch plate in, 6 metal screws. But what does he do? He breaks away from Kurt Gouveia, number 54, is all alone, and you just don't miss if you're Joe Montana.
And Michael Kofer makes it 21-10. So Mike Sherrard, who was out of football for 2.5 years, comes back and makes an imprint. Back here at Candlestick Park, 6:31 remaining in the first half. Mike Sherrard, a Plan B pickup, who was drafted number 1 by the Cowboys with an 8-yard pass from Joe Montana, who has now hit Rice and Sherrard here in the second quarter. And the 49ers lead the Redskins 21-10. Kofer again kicking off for San Francisco. Brian Mitchell on the return. Brings it out to the 23-yard line.
Let's go back and look at that touchdown. Kurt Gouveia is momentarily distracted, and what happens is he's supposed to take Sherrard as he comes inside. Now watch Gouveia. What he should do is nail Sherrard right there and not let him go free. Unfortunately, he didn't get turned around in time, and Sherrard, all by himself, shoots across underneath. Montana found him.
Montana was 3 for 3 on the drive. First down, Redskins on their 22. Ron Middleton is back in the game for Washington. And carrying is Ernest Biner. Brings it out to the 25. Biner has gained 51 yards on 11 rushes. He has carried the ball exclusively for the Redskins thus far. Second down and 6. Ripping with time, and open is Clark. And Gary Clark, wide open, has a first down beyond the 40 and a pickup of 15. Pollard and Matt Millen on the play.
And as quickly as he is moving, it's hard to believe that he is having ankle and knee trouble. Missed, as you said earlier in the broadcast, a great deal of the practice early in this week. One of the things that always amazes me when I watch Gary Clark is how quick he can stop and start. A change of direction.
Ossie today has caught 6 passes for 103 yards and the touchdown by Monk. That put the Redskins in front early. First down on the 41. Play action, and Rippon has a wide open receiver, and Ricky Sanders has it in 49er territory. Don Griffin applies the hit and a pickup that time of 15 yards.
Working on Don Griffin down the sideline. Man-to-man coverage from the 49ers here. Griffin going to run off with him. Watch Sanders just get a little push right there at the end. And he's lucky he got him that far away because, boy, Griffin came back with a vengeance.
They wanted to get Sanders involved, and they have. First down on the 44 of the Niners. On the delay, Biner gets about 2.
Trying to run away from Charles Haley during a good part of this game. In fact, they're running a lot of plays that they call locator plays. They'll get up on the field and they'll get to the line of scrimmage and they'll say, okay, we're going to go left. Haley's on the right, we are going left. It's got to be a bit frustrating for Charles Haley. Well, as long as they're winning, who cares?
Call it second down and 10. Rippon's pass is batted down. Might have been Haley, and it was.
Pierce Holt coming in to the inside, Fagan coming in, but Charles Haley makes his presence felt. He'll work on both sides, but he's coming in over the top of Joe Jacoby here. And Jacoby gets a good push on him, holds him up at the line, but look at that. Great timing, right up in the air to take that pass down.
That was an easy slam dunk.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
3rd and 10 with 3:40 remaining in the first half. Rolling out is Rippon. Fires, and it's incomplete. Gary Clark on another crossing pattern, but the pass wasn't there, and it'll be 4th down.
More excellent defense from the San Francisco 49ers as they shut down another Washington drive.
Kelly Goodburn will kick, and back is John Taylor. Fair catch, signaled by Taylor at the 20-yard line. A 24-yard kick. So the 49ers, with all of their skilled people and marquee players, the defense got them where they are right now. In the last 2 years, Joe Montana has been nothing short of brilliant.
In the postseason, he's 6-0, 19 touchdowns, and look at this number. A single interception. That is an amazing playoff record.
And he's got 2 more touchdown passes today.
And no interception.
First down, Roger Craig with McIntyre blocking. And Alvin Walton knocks him away. And a gain of only a couple.
Alvin Walton leads this team in tackles with 138 on the season. Another fine one there.
49ers, the last 3 times they've had the ball, they've reached pay dirt. All good drives.
Well, we had the opportunity to watch Montana in his first half against Minnesota. That's not the kind of statistics that he threw up on the board, as they were blanked in that game. Talking to the 49ers all week, they said, hey, we're going to put up the steam, put it up to speed, get to playoff mode. They've done it.
2nd down and 9. Harry Sidney out of the backfield makes a fancy catch. Doesn't get much out of it, maybe a yard before Alvin Walton stops him. It'll be 3rd down and long for the 49ers as the clock runs. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remain in the first half.
San Francisco 49ers very content to take whatever you give them. They're a move the chains offense. They'll throw those short passes all day long. And I think Montana, more than any quarterback in the league, is patient. He'll just take what's there. His ego is not involved.
One thing he wanted to do coming in after playing sparingly was to get a rhythm, and he's done that. 3rd down and 8. Montana trapped, and down he goes, and Charles Mann has the first sack of the game for either team, and a loss of 6 yards.
You saw Mann saying yes, yes. I talked to him just before this game in the locker room, and he said, I have all the incentive I need. Steve Wallace talked about shutting him out the last time, but watch him here. Right around Wallace, number 74, and even though Wallace held him, he's all over Montana.
Well, our 2-minute warning is here at Candlestick Park. Mann with the first sack of the game, and we'll return in a moment. His first punt went 46 yards, and Harris Barton walking into the 49ers dressing room.
We have not seen Darrell Green back on punts today, and that was deliberate. The Redskins felt that the punts would be short from Helton all day long, did not want to risk Darrell Green on the short punts.
So Joe Howard is back now. Helton will kick from inside his 5. Ooh. And another good kick. Helton has punted twice well, and Howard on the return from the 39. Was tripped up first by DeLong, and he made the play. Well, tomorrow it'll be the Bears and the Giants, starting at noon Eastern on CBS with the NFL Today. And we are very happy that our colleague Pat Summerall will be back in the broadcast booth working with his partner John Madden. And we wish Pat the best and glad that he came back as quick as he did. We missed him.
We surely did.
1st and 10 at the 44 of the Redskins. Trailing 21-10. Rippon dumps it off to Ernest Biner.
Excellent inside-out pursuit from Matt Millen. The thing that impresses me most about this 49er defense, up front, they are always hustling, coming so very hard.
Ernest Biner walks off the field.
Bubba Tyre, the trainer there to take a hold of him, looks as though he may have a stinger in that right arm.
He had problems with his ankles earlier, and Gerald Riggs is in for him on 2nd down and 10, and Rippon's pass, and it's caught. They rule it a catch, I believe, by Ricky Sanders, and now they come in and say incomplete.
Apparently he bobbled that football on the way to the ground.
An incomplete pass. Here's a look.
Pass is ruled as incomplete.
Good officials working together. Rippon zips this football right past Romanowski, number 53, who jumps for it right there. Now let's see what happens to Sanders. He has it, but since he's in the air, he must control the football all the way to the ground, and he does not. That's a good call by the officials.
Johnny Jackson put the hit on Sanders and made him lose it. Redskins with 2 timeouts remaining. 1 minute and 1 second remaining. 3rd down and 10. Stephen Hobbs in the game as a wide receiver. Rippon dumps it off to Riggs. Riggs looking for the sidelines, and he gets it, but he's going to be shy of a 1st down by about 3 yards. Bill Romanowski ran him out of bounds.
I thought for a minute that they may be going for it here, but the Redskins have put their punting team on the field. Riggs, I don't think, realized what the down and distance situation was. He was only a couple of yards short of the 1st down when he took himself out of bounds.
So it is 4th down and 2, and Goodburn will kick, and back is John Taylor. Taylor with a fair catch at the 15-yard line. So with 48 seconds to go, the 49ers have another chance. Redskins scored first. Monk from Rippon early in the 1st quarter, but then the 49ers came back smartly and tied it up on Tom Rathman's touchdown. Redskins regained the lead on a Chip Lohmiller field goal. And then Joe Montana went to work. 10-yard touchdown pass to Jerry Rice. And then he found Mike Sherrard from 8 yards out, and that's the story as the 49ers lead 21-10. 48 seconds to go in the half. On the 15, 1st down. Montana has Craig. Alvin Walton runs him out of bounds, and a gain of 8 yards.
A lot of teams in the NFL, 43 seconds on the clock on their own 20-yard line. They'll simply sit on it, run out the clock. The 49ers are not that kind of team. They believe that they can score even with 20 seconds on the clock.
2nd down and 2. Montana gets hit. His pass was intended for Brent Jones, and Jumpy Geathers put the crunch on Montana.
Jumpy jumped all over Joe on that play.
Earlier we saw Harris Barton go to the 49er dressing room, and Ricky Sigler has replaced him at right guard. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today crew down on the field here at Candlestick Park. Greg and Terry, and we'll have locker room reports from Pat O'Brien and Leslie Visser. 3rd down and 2. Rathman. He's got the 1st down. Tim Johnson on the stop, and a timeout called by the 49ers. They still have 2 remaining. Call a timeout, and Joe Montana has done so well in the final 2 minutes of first halves this year to get his teams on the board.
He's amazing. And I've said it before, I've never seen a team that has so much confidence in their quarterback, but he's earned that confidence over the years.
First down from the 29. Montana gets hit
again. And Joe is hurt. Joe is hurt on that one.
The Redskins are getting to Joe Montana and getting to him and knocking him down. You saw the numbers. Here's Geathers again.
Jumpy Geathers on the stunt here will break away from his man. That's Sigler who replaced Barton. And watch the ribs here. Bang.
And Steve Young is going to come into the ball game, if for nothing else but just to finish out the first half, and a hand for Montana, who comes out.
Once they've stopped play for you, you've got to come out for a single play anyway. And I would think with 30 seconds on the clock that Joe may be through for the half.
Second down and 10. Roger Craig. Craig will lose a couple of yards on that play, but he showed his ability to cut. And making the play was Collins and Mayhew for the Redskins, and a loss of a pair.
There was an apparent upsurge in the running game of the San Francisco 49ers late in the year, but most of that was running by Steve Young.
Joe Montana threw for 200 yards in the first half. He had 390 the first time these teams met earlier in the year. And that is the end of the first half with the score. The 49ers 21 and the Redskins 10. And Dan Rather will bring you up to date on the events of the day after this.
Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco, everyone, where 65,000 49ers fans are happy at least halfway through the game. At halftime, our score, the 49ers 21 and the Washington Redskins 10. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. And Terry, at the beginning of the game, you said that the first quarter would be the key. Has it been?
I think it has been. The 49ers had a lot of questions at how could they come out and turn the switch on. And the real key has been they respond the way they responded to the Redskins taking the 7-0 lead. They came out, drove the ball down, matched them, and then kept it going, baby. And I mean, they are really on a roll right now.
All right, Terry, 21-10 49ers is a score. Now, in the final 20 seconds of the first half, you saw Joe Montana leave the field under his own power after a tough hit. Let's get an update from Pat O'Brien. Pat.
All right, Greg, Terry, thank you very much. Outside the 49ers locker room, I just peeked in there. Joe Montana's walking around. He's smiling. He looks fine. He came off the field and he was smiling, so he is fine. The coaching staff is irate over the line for allowing this hit to happen. They were yelling at him all the way down the tunnel here. There you see Jumpy Geathers get to Montana from the backside, and the coaching staff is just livid about that one right there. But once again, Joe Montana is okay. We, of course, do expect to see him in the second half. Matt Millen says that they're spreading him too thin. They're moving the ball on him, and so they're talking about that in here. Jerry Rice was about the happiest guy coming in here. I said, how do you feel? And he said, I just want more. Back to you guys.
All right, Pat, kind of amazing. The coaching staff would be livid. It looked like a pretty clean hit to us. Now, earlier today in the AFC playoff game at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills advance to the AFC championship game next week with a 44-34 victory over the Miami Dolphins. And they were led, of course, by Jim Kelly, who threw for 339 yards and 3 TDs, including this one to Andre Reed.
Bad footing. You always want to play defense. You normally play zones, quick post to Reed. Boy, that's a nice job.
Now in the fourth quarter, Miami offensive guard Roy Foster reported in as an eligible receiver and caught the 2-yard touchdown pass from Dan Marino there. That made it 30-27. The Bills' lead was down to 3. But here comes Jim Kelly and Andre Reed again.
If you have bad weather, contrary to popular belief, you want to throw the football because of the footing is sure by the receivers. Nice job, Kelly. Good job, Reed.
And Kelly's looking ahead to next week.
We're going to play against a team that earned the right to be where we're at, so it's going to be another battle. I mean, I don't want it to be as close as it was today, but when it comes on championship games, are usually close.
Now Jim Kelly is looking ahead to either the Los Angeles Raiders or the Cincinnati Bengals, the winner of tomorrow's playoff game at the LA Coliseum. Keep in mind the Buffalo Bills have not lost a game at home this entire football season. Meanwhile, our score at halftime, the 49ers 21-10 over the Washington Redskins, and Joe Montana's thrown for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's on his game today.
He's having a good game. I want to point out something Leslie Visser got from Richie Pettibone. He said, if we, the defensive people, can stop their primary receiver, and I said if they can also get pressure up the middle, then the Redskins have a chance to win this game. This is number 1 receiver for the 49ers. This is number 2. This is number 4. That's Taylor. This is number 3. That's Jerry Rice at the bottom. Turn it loose and I'll show you what happens. Montana comes back. He looks at the top for his number 1 receiver, Jones. Now stop it there. He's covered. Now he goes to his back. He's covered. So all of a sudden now Pettibone has the second part of his defense. Now if we can get pressure on Montana, oh boy, there's the pressure. But oh no, now Montana is scrambling out. He looks for number 3. There's Jerry Rice. Oh my gosh, he's covered. So now he says, I'll see you later. Now he's on the run. Stop it again. Now looky here. This is the 4th receiver. Beautiful job by Montana. Great job by Taylor. That leads to a first down, eventually a touchdown.
And the big receiver in the first half so far has been Brent Jones. He has 3 receptions for 88 yards. Let's take you over now to Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Greg, the Redskins, as they were leaving the tunnel now, they've said, hey, it's only 1 half. The coaches are concerned with a couple of things defensively. 1, that they're not tackling well enough. 2, that they're not keeping containment on Montana. And even when they move him out of the pocket, he's still throwing in rhythm. When asked if they were surprised that Harry Sidney threw a pass, they said, nah, he's an old wishbone quarterback from Kansas. They did, although not surprisingly, think that Brent Jones was forced out of bounds. Greg?
All right, Leslie, thank you very much. And just moments ago, Joe Montana and the rest of the 49ers leaving the locker room, and Montana looks ready to assume duties again on the field here in the second half. And we'll have second half action for you as the NFL Today continues in a moment.
I don't think you're going to see these teams change. They got here, the Redskins got here by running the football, the 49ers by throwing the football, and that's what we're going to see in this second half. But the Redskins have got to do a better job of running it.
Halftime statistics. Quarterback, look at Montana, 200 yards already. He threw for 390 when they played earlier in the year. Look how close rushes and passes were as far as the 49ers were concerned. They were supposed to throw a lot more. They rushed 17 times. Redskins were even.
You wonder why play is delayed momentarily here. They brought a big semi in at the end of the field for the halftime show, and they're having trouble. It's stuck down there. They can't get it off the field with all of that equipment. Got a little forklift in behind trying to lift it up and move it, but so far nothing happening.
Why do I think that 4 or 5 guys on either side not going to push that thing off the
Let's
field?
get Bubba Paris over there, and Michael Carter, and Joe Jacoby, and Jim Lachey. Hey, they can lift that whole thing up.
Come on, Bubba, go to work.
There's a truck mover right there if I ever did see one. I asked Bubba earlier in the year, they talk about bigger jerseys. He said, no, I got my big one at the beginning of the year. Yeah, they're going to kick it off, I guess.
Michael Kofer will be kicking off for the Niners. Howard, Mitchell, and Bowles are back for the Redskins. And a deep kick.
Great kick.
Mitchell downs it in the end zone, and the Redskins will start from their 20. So Mark Rippon, who has been sacked only 6 times in the regular season, none so far today, and a team that has made its mark coming from behind this year.
They know how to do it. And I mentioned, anybody that watches football has the respect for great coaching. And both of these teams are as well coached as any that you would ever see in this game of football.
Gerald Riggs opens at running back for the Redskins from their worst starting field position of the game, the 20. Riggs carries, brings it out to the 23. Kevin Fagan making the tackle.
Fagan working all the way across. Fagan selected as an All-Pro by the National and honored. I mentioned earlier that I really feel that Pierce Holt and Kevin Fagan have come on late in this season to become the best pair of defensive ends in the NFL, edging out Reggie White, Clyde Simmons back in Philadelphia.
Very good, speedy defensive ends, both Holt and Fagan. 2nd down and 6. Pass to Monk. Griffin will drive him out of bounds. Short of the 1st down marker. It'll bring up 3rd down and a couple. Griffin shaken up earlier in the game, and there you're looking at Art Monk, one of 2 players in NFL history to catch 100 or more passes in a season. Jerry Rice got to the 100 mark on the last game of the year. Joe Jacoby is out of there, and Ray Brown has replaced him on 3rd down and 1. Griffin has time on 3rd and 1, and the pass is incomplete. Gary Clark, the intended receiver, and Griffin was all over it. Interesting that the Redskins throwing on 3rd and 1.
Certainly is for a running team. Again, you've got to counter your tendencies, and you do it right there with the throw.
Kelly Goodburn, who was signed in December when Ralph Mosienko was released, will be kicking to John Taylor.
Short kick.
And it'll be down by the Redskins.
John Taylor, such a dangerous receiver back there. We talked to him. He's had a tough year. Injured with a knee earlier in the season. Tried to come back and wear a brace. Could not do that. Finally just said to heck with it. Took the brace off. But boy, he is such a dangerous receiver. We've seen him catch a touchdown pass today. Outstanding football player. You don't want to kick to him. No touchdown pass today.
Rice and Sherrard were the 2, but Taylor's always a threat. 1st and 10 on the 36. Play fake. Montana was trying to go to his tight end, Brent Jones. 49ers have made a living off of the opposition in the first half of their last 3 playoff seasons, including today outscoring their opponents by a whopping 134-28 margin.
That's not fair.
And you know what else? The 49ers, who had always been quick starters, had not done that toward the end of the season. They were slow starters.
In fact, all during the 90 season.
2nd and 10. And Roger Craig runs into Joe Montana, one of the rare mix-ups in the backfield. Joe Jacoby, who came out of the game for the Redskins, has an injured shoulder. There he is.
Jim Hannafin there describing some patterns for the offensive lineman.
3rd down and 9 on the 37. Geathers and Stokes. Geathers has put some pressure on. He's in there now. Montana. Ooh. Nearly got hit by Stokes. Got the ball away to Harry Sidney, but there's a penalty marker down. Let's see.
Did they call him in the grass? No, just missed the throw, but a quick one at that, and Stokes buried Montana. Watch Freddie Stokes, right-hand side of your screen, working on Bubba Paris. Montana with no receiver open there, and there's Stokes. Watch it, quick flip. You test a quarterback's courage, and when he'll stand in till the last second, you know that he's not going to blink. Montana doesn't blink.
Barry Helton having a good day thus far. Howard, number 80, and Mitchell, number 30, are back. We have yet to see Darrell Green back there as a punt returner. Another good kick by Helton. Here's Howard returning from the 20. And he's hit immediately. Wesley Walls made a good stop on Howard. So the Redskins will begin from the 28-yard line with the Niners in front, 21-10. with another opportunity to narrow the lead here with 12:33 to go in the third. Gerald Riggs in for Biner, who is injured. First down on the 29-yard line of the Redskins. Rippon the throw on first down, and the pass one hopper to Art Monk. So Rippon has lost some of that sharpness that he showed in last week's game against the Eagles.
Looking to the sideline for his plays. With all of the motion and all of formations, all of the shifting, see Don Brose signaling in. They really have to do a great job of getting them onto the field in a hurry so that the Redskins have enough time at the line for all the mechanics of what they do offensively. 3 receivers left in the quick count.
Second down and 10, and Rippon's pass caught by Gary Clark at the 45-yard line and ridden out of bounds by Eric Davis. A 14-yard pickup to Gary Clark, the Redskins' leading receiver.
Here are the 3 receivers stacked at the top. And what is very difficult about that is anytime you get them moving together, it's very difficult to tight cover them. You try and zone, although it looked like in this situation they went man to man. But the quick count really hurt them. They were waiting for the shift. They just came out and blew it off the line in a hurry.
First down on the 45 of Washington. Gerald Riggs powers his way into 49er territory and picks up 6 yards on the play. Riggs was out 6 games with a foot injury, and now spelling Biner here, DeLong and Holt on the top, on the stop.
Talking to Keith Bostic, center, earlier in the week, and he said, with Riggs in there, we have the big back, Jeff Bostic. Bostic, the kind of hammer in there that they used to have with John Riggins. He's more like Riggins. Biner, more of a finesse back with the cutting ability.
Second down and 4. Here's Riggs. Dives close to the first down yardage. Keep in mind that Ray Brown has been in for the right tackle Joe Jacoby. Since that first drive, the Redskins have stumbled.
Well, for Joe Gibbs and the Redskins, the job is very simple. They've got to do it their way, but they've got to get something going. You can't wait much longer.
Third down and 1. First down as Riggs goes up the middle. Kevin Fagan on the tackle there, and I noticed that Ron Middleton, who was out earlier with a sprained left ankle and came back before the half, has been limping. We notice when he shifts, he is hobbling.
He's making some other people limp in there too, though. He has put some hellacious blocks on some folks inside.
First down on the Niners 43. Posse is in there. Sanders joins Monk and Clark. Fagan trying to get to Rippon, and the pass is complete to Art Monk. And Monk gets close to the 20-yard line. Don Griffin battles him. So the Redskins running and opening it up in a 21-yard gain.
That is such a tough pass to throw. Bootlegging back to your left. That means a right-handed quarterback has to throw against his body. Now watch him here. Fakes it to Riggs, going inside, and steps back with Fagan right in his face. Throws a strike right there to Gary Clark. No, to Art Monk. Covered on. They have really gone after Griffin all day today.
Monk has caught 4 passes for 70 yards. Don't forget, Rippon is playing on tender ankles. First down on the 21. And on a reverse, here's Art Monk with Rippon blocking. And Art Monk crashes inside the 15-yard line to about the 11. Let's see where they spot it. Darryl Pollard ultimately makes the tackle and a gain of 9 yards.
Art Monk, this is the way they get outside very often. Just a little handoff on the comeback there. Schlereth, the guard, out in front to get a block, and right there was Rippon's block. He's 234 pounds, bigger than a lot of the running backs, and not afraid to throw his body in there.
He's sturdy. Second down and 1 on the 12. Riggs going outside, and Gerald Riggs takes it down to the 6-yard line. Pollard and Lott on the stop. Redskins have outrushed the 49ers. No scoop there. That's their game. Trailing 21-10 and threatening with 8:46 remaining in the third quarter.
They have just been able to take charge on the line of scrimmage in this drive and get that running game going. They like to run it inside, but they have had several of their biggest plays outside in this ball game, or in this drive.
First and goal at the 7. Gerald Riggs gonna lose a couple. Jim Burt leading the cheers from the sideline, but it was Larry Roberts who snuffed Gerald Riggs on that play.
49ers love to rotate their big people, keep them fresh in there. Roberts, who's normally utilized in a pass rushing situation, was very big on that play, but Riggs is not a great outside runner. He's best up inside between the tackles, and he showed you why on that last play.
Second and goal, the ball now at the 9. 4 wide receivers for the Redskins.
Hard to hear.
On the draw play, Gerald Riggs gets back down to the 7-yard line, and it was Fagan with help from Romanowski, and that will bring up third and goal.
Such a quick front line for the 49ers. I don't think they were fooled at all by that play. I'm sure that they had been warned early in the week. When they spread you out like that, particularly down by the goal line, watch for the draw, and they were there very quickly on that play.
Ernest Biner did not start the second half, and now he's back in the game. Bruised shoulder and all. It'll be third and goal at the 7. Rippon's toss is intercepted by Johnny Jackson of the 49ers, and they take over. A big interception by Jackson snuffs out a Redskin threat, and the Niners still lead by 11. The first turnover of the game, a big one for the 49ers. Redskins were driving, and Mark Rippon now 12 of 23, a touchdown pass and an interception by Johnny Jackson, who did not pick one off in the regular season. And so it's first down, Niners on their 20. Montana gets it out to Jamie Williams, the tight end, who can't hold on.
Let's go back and look at that interception. It would appear right here, we're going to get the receiver down, and if this ball is thrown as he cuts, I think they got a touchdown. But Jackson, reading the quarterback's eyes, gets a great jump and gets back there in time to make the play. Got Jackson coming from the wrong spot there, but there he is. You see him get the great jump on the quarterback's eyes and get there in time.
Montana has thrown an incomplete pass in his last 5 attempts now. It'll be second down and 10. Montana wide open is Williams, and he's got a first down. All kinds of targets. Jamie Williams in a gain of 13 with Martin Mayhew on the stop.
You talk about tough. Those numbers are unbelievable. Good teams do not beat themselves. That's exactly the way these 49ers play in the postseason. And here they are doing it again today.
Starting from their 33 following the first down. Roger Craig hit by Alvin Walton. Pick up of 5 yards.
This is a time for patience. If you're a 49er, you want to control the football, just work it down, eat up a good share of that clock. But if you're on that Redskin defensive line right now, the thought very simply is we've got to force the turnover. They'll be batting at the football. They'll be looking for the interception, trying to force that football so they get a chance at it offensively.
Second down and 5 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Montana looking to throw, and he flips it out to Mike Sherrard, and he is hit immediately by A.J. Johnson. And a loss that time of 3 yards.
We talked about the battle going on between Rice and Green, and it's still battling out there. Green will follow him all over. Here he is right there on number 80, Jerry Rice, and watch him as Rice drives inside. He's right there step for step, but obviously Rice just a good decoy on that play.
Rice with a touchdown catch today. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Harris Barton has returned to the 49er offensive line. Ball at the 35 of San Francisco. Montana's pass, and they rule it a catch. Jerry Rice on a very tough catch with Darrell Green all over it. So Rice showing he can make the tough ones as well.
Confident quarterbacks are not afraid to throw to well-covered receivers, especially when the receivers are as strong and as sure-handed as Jerry Rice. You can't cover a receiver any better than that.
It's a 1st down.
A lot of people lose sight of the fact that this is one of the biggest receivers in football, and they're coming back. Ooh, are they reviewing the play? See, the 49ers don't miss a trick. They had a sense that that was going to be reviewed. They were quick to the line to try and keep it from being reviewed.
The play is being reviewed. On the field, it's ruled as a catch.
I don't think we'll argue from that angle.
Here is the best view of it. Green is defending him as well as you could expect. And I'm not sure. I think he trapped the ball. I don't think he had control. Question is it a conclusive reason to reverse it? It looked like the ball had scraped the grass after he made the initial catch.
I think one of the other things, well, let's let Red Cash talk.
The replay official, the play stands as a completed catch. 1st down.
It'll go, though, as a catch and a 1st down. Joe Gibbs shaking his head. 21-10 the score. That's what the score was at halftime. 49ers on their 44-yard line. Montana's pass caught. Brent Jones, the tight end. That time Darrell Green was defending him, and a gain of 16 yards. And the Redskins just can't get to Montana consistently enough.
Time is the critical factor for Montana. If he can stand back, read the defense, get himself into that position, step forward, deliver the football, you probably are going to get yourself eaten up on defense. You've got to have someone in his face. You've got to have hands up in front of him. They're just not doing that here in the second half.
Brent Jones already has caught 4 catches for over 100 yards. 1st down on the 40-yard line.
Jumping gathers. Ouch.
Roger Craig hit hard. Now they're looking at the Polaroids from upstairs. 49ers.
John Marshall, the defensive line coach. Left side of your screen, number 97. Watch this hit on Roger Craig. Picture perfect form tackle there.
Jumpy Geathers has done the best job of any Redskin defensive lineman to get to Montana. Actually sent him to the sidelines in the waning seconds of the 1st half. 2nd down and 8 on the 38-yard line. Montana has an open Mike Sherrard and a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. A.J. Johnson on the stop. And we'll have a holding penalty against the 49ers, who have not led the Redskins back in this game here in the second half thanks to their defense. That's been the story of this one.
Very few mistakes in this game. Both teams playing quality football.
Holding number 77 of the offense. 10 yards, still 2nd down.
Bubba Paris.
Bubba shaking his head and saying, not me, I didn't do it. Fred Stokes, number 60. Bubba soloed on him. Look at him, just goes outside the shoulder pads. That's World Federation Wrestling right there, isn't it?
Does the word sumo mean anything
Sumo.
to you?
He put him down. And the worst thing is he ended up on top of him. Now that's adding insult to injury.
He's a big one. Second down and 18. The ball back to the 48-yard line. Still in Redskin territory, and Montana quickly decides to call the timeout. But the 49ers very much are in control of this game as we're down to the waning moments of the third quarter. Come back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco on an overcast afternoon. The 49ers in their first step to what they hope will be their third straight Super Bowl championship, leading the Washington Redskins in this NFC Divisional playoff 21-10. Dick Stockton along with Merlin Olsen, Mark Rippon and Joe Gibbs talking for the next time the Redskins get the ball.
Charles Mann jumping off and quickly pointing inside to Steve Wallace, saying he was moving.
False start. Number 74 on the
And
offense.
he was.
5 yards, still second down.
Such a critical situation for this Redskin defense.
Well, tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern, college basketball action on CBS Sports as defending Big East champion Connecticut, ranked number 9, tries to extend its 22-game home winning streak when they take on Malik Sealy and the 10th-ranked St. John's Redmond. St. John's is 10-2. Connecticut 12-1, lost to North Carolina. 2 strong clubs tomorrow on CBS Sports. Second down and 23, back to the 47 of the Niners. And here's Mike Sherrard, wide open. A lot of work for Sherrard coming back after the surgery for the broken leg. Darrell Green on the stop and a gain of 11.
49ers have already eaten up more than 5 minutes on this drive, and they're patient. They'll take the half of that. They get down. That's now 10 yards to go. They're not trying to get that whole first down. But this is a very important drive. I do not believe that the 49ers, if they can get this ball down, pick up the first down, take it down, and put another 7 on the board, I don't think Washington has enough firepower to catch them.
Third down and 12. Joe Montana goes down softly, if you can use that term, for a sack. A whole bunch of Redskins around him, and that will bring up fourth down.
We have seen a few coverage sacks on the day, and that certainly was one. If we watch this play, let's turn it loose and see what kind of coverage we're getting downfield. Excellent man-to-man in the short zones right there, and no receiver open. Look at that right there. Look at the tightness of that coverage. 2 safeties waiting down here in the wings for anything, but that's just great coverage by the Redskins. They force the punt, get the football back right here.
Fourth down and 16 out of the shotgun. And now Barry Helton moves back to punt formation. Joe Howard came up to the line and then had to do a quick retreat. And Helton gets off another good kick and a fair catch called by Howard at the 10. So Barry Helton should get a hand. He has punted tremendously today after slump in the second half of this season. We've had a scoreless third quarter here in Candlestick Park and a view of San Francisco, one of the most beautiful cities in the country, and a very big offensive series coming up for that man, Mark Rippon and the Redskins. First down on the 10-yard line. Double tight end and play action. Back at the goal line is Rippon. He's got time, and downfield is Art Monk. He's got it in a big gain to midfield. Don Griffin was beaten on the play at a 40-yard pass play to Art Monk, having an outstanding game for the Redskins.
They have looked all day for Don Griffin in this kind of situation. Pollard starting across and following, but it will be Griffin who picks him up and comes downfield. And for Mark Rippon, who had so much confidence coming out of that game last week, this has to be an exciting play. Don Griffin falling down at the end of that, but still managing to trip Art Monk.
Trying to get off the play before the gun, and they do not. And that is the end of the third quarter. of a scoreless third period with the score, the 49ers 21 and the Redskins 10. And our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFC playoffs on CBS. Start of the fourth quarter here in San Francisco with the Redskins at midfield, but the Niners leading in this divisional playoff 21-10. Play action, and Rippon's pass is caught by Art Monk. He has been a giant out there for the Redskins today. A 14-yard pickup with Darryl Pollard on the stop. How important is this drive?
Terribly important. I think they've got to get points on the board, and I think they've got to get a touchdown on the board. You look up, you realize you're running out of time. The 49ers haven't gotten any colder in this second half. They just haven't had the football as much. And the Skins have got to be careful that they don't get too greedy here. They need the points, but they've got to be careful that they don't make a mistake.
Big game for Art Monk. 6 catches, 124 yards, and a first down on the 36. Gerald Riggs goes nowhere. And one of the better rushing defenses in the NFL stops him cold. Keith DeLong and Jim Burt. In fact, Fagan, Burt, and Kugler right now are the 3 men up front for the 49ers.
Jim Burt had his shoulder scope just a few weeks ago. Happy to be back in and get a chance to play on that down. He's been splitting some time out there with Michael Carter.
Second down and 12.
They'll come after him here.
Rippon, soft touch, trying to lead Monk, who's claiming he was held. Dave Weimer was defending downfield, but got no response from the officials.
Again, the Redskins try to go with the quick count instead of going with all their shifting and all of their motion. Right here, looking downfield. Let's see if he was held. Weimer certainly did. Had a hold of his jersey on the back, and that's what Monk was talking about right there as he points back, but no flag.
3rd and 12. This is a big play for the Redskins. Rippon's pass is caught, and that'll be good enough. Let's see, it may not be. Gary Clark gave some ground, and depending on the spot, the Redskins may not have the first down. And now they say they have it.
Yeah, I think he got it, but boy, what a great play by Rippon. Again, play action, holding just long enough for him to get it downfield. Hard to believe that you're going to buy play action at this point in the ballgame. Rippon with a rifle shot here. Look how strong that arm is. And Gary Clark making a great catch.
First down pass is caught by Art Monk, having one of his better games of the season and a pickup nearly of 9 yards. Millen and DeLong on the stop. Art Monk's biggest day this year came against the Lions when he caught 13 passes for 168 yards in that shootout that went into overtime.
Excellent job on this drive by that offensive line, giving Rippon time to throw the football.
Second and 2, Gerald Riggs. He's got the first down to the 15. Jim Burt on the stop for the Redskins, who have been successful down the stretch with Biner doing the bulk of the offensive threat. Now on the sidelines with a shoulder injury, and now Gerald Riggs having to be the chief ball carrier.
Joe Gibbs knows how important this drive is. 49ers have been able to control the football with their passing game. They need a touchdown here.
First down on the 15. Biner's pass is intercepted. Rippon's pass intercepted by Darryl Pollard. And I didn't see a Redskin receiver anywhere near him.
Gary Clark was, I think, the intended receiver, and either he was knocked out of that play or Rippon just did not get the read. Let's look at it on the top of your screen. That's Clark going to the outside, and he was held on that play. Grabbed at the line of scrimmage. The receiver driving to the outside, Ricky Sanders. That's the play you did not want to see Rippon make if you're a Redskin fan.
So he has thrown 2 interceptions in the end zone. And the 49ers take over, and that's got to take just about everything out of this Redskin team, I would think. Harry Sidney on first down. Picks up good yardage. Walton on the stop and a gain of 7.
It's got to tear your heart out. If you're Mark Rippon, you get into the second half of this ball game, you got a chance to win, and you throw 2 to the wrong jersey in the end zone, heading down. Well, you got to believe that Mark Rippon will come back, but in the short run, that has to be a hugely deflating play for Joe Gibbs, for that offense, and for that defense as well.
Johnny Jackson, Darryl Pollard with 2 pickoffs with Redskins driving. Second down and 2 for Montana. Swing pass. Harry Sidney, they'll rule that a catch. And defending was A.J. Johnson.
That's the kind of play. Ask Montana about the running game, and he's always said we use the pass as a part of our running game. The short throws to our running backs out of the backfield are just as effective for us as good sweeps or good dives or good traps.
244 yards today. And Matt Millen talking with Bill McPherson upstairs. Third down and 3. Montana pass, and it's an interception by Monty Coleman. And the Redskin linebacker with the first turnover of the game for the Washington Redskins brings it inside the 20-yard line. So let's see if that gives the Redskins a spark, and a return of 16 yards.
And on a day when it looked like Montana was not going to make any mistakes, he makes one in his own territory. Monty Coleman right there gets the hook, and again we've seen a lot of jerseys grabbed on by today. Coleman getting a little caboose ride there, pulled himself in, picked up the interception.
So Mark Rippon has another chance, and he starts from the 19 of San Francisco. 10:28 to go in the fourth quarter. Gerald Riggs will lose yardage. Kevin Fagan was the first, then Haley and Romanowski, and a loss of 3 yards.
Fagan in your face, and he's been there all day long. Left hand side of your screen, here he is. Watch him drive right up on this play. Look how quickly he gets off Lachey. That's the thing that these defensive linemen for the 49ers have done so well, is disengage from those blocks and make the quick reaction and make the tackle.
They hustled defensive players on the field on 2nd and 13. Art Monk with the catch up the middle and drives inside the 15. Romanowski and Lott on the stop, and a gain of 8 yards that time. Where would the Redskins be today without that man, Art Monk?
Well, when you're in trouble, you go to your veteran, you go to your leadership. That's what Art Monk is.
Well, even with them, they're down by 11, but they need to score a touchdown here.
They do. This is 4-down territory, too. You can't afford 3. There's just not enough time in this ball game and not enough opportunity.
3rd and 5. Rippon's throw, dangerous.
Ronnie
Passing
Lott.
intent, intended for Sanders, but there were 2 49er defenders, including Ronnie Lott, and if that pass had been a little higher, that might have been intercepted.
Might have been that, and Lott right there to get his hands on that football and grind it into the ground. You've got to believe that his presence in that secondary, as always, makes it difficult for those receivers coming inside.
4th down now, and the Redskins have to go for the yardage.
This may be the play of the game.
Rippon's pass, incomplete. Intended for Clark, and the Niners will take over on downs. Eric Davis defended Clark.
Gary Clark, number 84. Eric Davis, number 25. It's man-to-man coverage. Clark saying it was interfered with. I don't see it yet. And Davis looking back to the football, and that is the key. They're not going to throw the flag on that one.
The 49ers have repelled every Washington threat. 3 possessions inside the 20. The Niners have scored 3 touchdowns. Redskins have come up empty. That is the story of this game. 1st and 10 on the 14. Harry Sidney. Now the Niners are interested in using up as much of the time as possible. Last 3 Redskin drives have ended with errant passes in the end zone, 2 interceptions, and then the incompletion.
Joe Gibbs said it yesterday, Dick. He said, you know, we're really not as good a football team as they are. If we're going to win, we have got to play mistake-free football, and we have to have some great performance in those individual matchups. Well, they have made their costly mistakes here in the second half.
2nd down and 11. Harry Sidney brings it out to the 15-yard line. Well, the 49ers 8-12 away from winning, and they will play the winner of tomorrow's game, which starts at 12 noon Eastern with the NFL Today. The other half of our NFC Divisional playoff matchup this weekend, the Bears and the Giants.
Talking to some of the 49er players, and their feeling was that this game was going to be tougher than either of those games in the matchup next week. I don't think that the Bears and the Giants who are sitting at home watching this one are going to feel good about that, but Montana and company felt that this game was going to be a tougher match for them.
3rd down and 8. Montana's pass is caught by Rice. Sooner or later, somebody gets open, and Jerry Rice did there to the tune of 14 yards. Brad Edwards and Martin Mayhew on the tackle.
It's a function of time. Let's go back to that head-to-head battle. And the look right there as Green slips on the turn and falls down. And Montana, who could have eaten his lunch back there on this play, is not going to miss a wide-open Jerry Rice.
Darrell Green coming in said, "This is the biggest game of my career," going one-on-one against Jerry Rice, who has caught 5 passes, including a touchdown. 1st down at the 30. Roger Craig hit at the line of scrimmage. May get a yard. Tim Johnson. Tim Johnson has been a big contributor to the Redskins, acquired on trade from the Steelers, and had a couple of sacks last week. Redskins thought today would be different from the 2nd game of the season. They said they were better. 49ers were a bit tenuous, but it hasn't turned out that way. That extra week off seems to have given the Niners good new life.
Well, they certainly are healthy, and most importantly, we talked about it several times, getting people back like Ronnie Lott, getting Roger Craig back into the lineup. That was important, but the most important thing was the quality of 49er performance on the field. Execution. That's what they've gotten here today.
2nd down and 9. And Craig is hit behind the line by Darrell Grant, and a loss of 3 yards. The Redskins took a lead, and that might have awakened the 49ers early. They tied the score on the next drive after Washington took the lead. Lohmiller's field goal gave the Skins their last lead of this game, and then it's been all 49ers. Montana to Rice for 10 yards. Montana to Mike Sherrard for 8 yards. And that's our score, 21-10, with 5:20 remaining in the 4th quarter.
There's a man who could have added to that scoring summary had he not thrown the ball to a couple of 49ers here late in the ball.
3rd down and 12. He had 3 chances and missed on all 3. Montana's pass caught by Rice. Green trailing, and it's another 1st down for San Francisco. 14 yards on that play.
Jerry Rice told me yesterday, he said, this is kind of like calling somebody out into the alley, and you're going to find out who the better man is. Well, it has been a real battle between those two today, but when Montana is on target with a perfect pass like that, and you use the skills of Rice the way he uses them, you're in trouble.
Well, if you're going to give Montana time, he's going to find a way to beat you through the air, and the Redskins have given him time today.
He's scrambling more today. He has scrambled a great deal more today than we have seen him during the latter part of the season.
First down on the 42. Roger Craig with a couple of blockers. And he gets about a yard, that's all. Greg Minuski, first man to reach him.
He says, watch for my timeout. So he's already worried about getting the clock stopped. Let's go back to Darryl Craig and Jerry Rice just for a minute. Darryl Green said to Jerry Rice, or said of Jerry Rice, he said, hey, let me tell you how great a receiver he is. He said if he's got the feet of a Steve Largent, the hands of a Charlie Joyner, and the speed of a Cliff Branch. No,
pretty good package.
Not a bad package. All in one body.
And Rice is proving how tough he is. Second down and 9. Craig. 49ers effectively using the clock. Redskins needing 2 touchdowns to take the lead in this game. And the Redskins use up a timeout, and we'll be back to Candlestick Park after this.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football Conference Divisional Playoff game is sponsored by the American Express card. Membership has its privileges. Federal Express for documents, packages, and freight worldwide. Absolutely, positively the best in the business. And by Soloflex Muscle Machines, a new era in fitness.
The Redskins have 2 timeouts left after calling one moments ago. Richie Pettibone trying to find the answer as the 49ers have held the ball for 5.5 minutes. They face a 3rd and 7 on their own 46. Roger Craig gets a hole and gets to midfield, but he's short. Brad Edwards, and that will bring up 4th down. They're short of a first down by about a yard. And the Redskins immediately use a timeout with 3:31 to go, and now the Skins are left with 1 timeout, and they still need 2 touchdowns to pull this one out. Special teams coach Lynn Stiles informing his club that a new man is back to receive this punt, Darryl Green, for the first time today.
First opportunity, and he was quick to point down there, offer a few signals to his punting team.
Barry Helton will kick. He's had a fine day today. Green coming over, lost his footing, and goes nowhere. So the 49ers cover it perfectly. Darryl Pollard.
Put your special teams players, your starting players on special teams in the playoffs. And there's one right there. Starting corner Darryl Pollard, quickly downfield. Mike Wilson there to help. Romanowski added to the special teams list, also in on that play.
One of the reasons why Helton punted so well, they stopped practice, had him kick in the middle of practice with the teammates around. It might have done a lot of good for him this week. Mark Rippon on first down, and his pass is caught by Art Monk and out of bounds at the 22-yard line by Ronnie Lott, and a gain of 7 yards.
How did Rippon get this pass off? Larry Roberts all over him. Watch number 91 coming in right here. Bang. Ooh, that hurts all the way upstairs here. Well, you know that they've got to throw the football. It's tough to pass protect.
Second down and 3. Penalty marker down. Gary Clark has enough for the first down. Pending the penalty call, Don Griffin and Bill Romanowski that time on the stop with 3:06 remaining. Big penalty call right here. Skins had enough yards for the first down, and the penalty may be against the 49ers.
It appeared to be someone lined up off sides or moving before the snap defensively.
Offsides. Number 96 on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
I like the way he said first down.
First down. He stretched it out.
Dennis Brown.
Toughest time in the world if you're an offensive lineman. Those defensive linemen don't worry at all about the run. They're coming after your quarterback.
Brian Mitchell and Ernest Biner are in at running back. Rippon fires, and he's got Art Monk again. He's got another first down and goes out of bounds to stop the clock with just under 3 minutes to go. Another 14-yard gain. And an injured Redskin way back at the 15-yard line is center Jeff Bostic.
Bostic, who has had a healthy year and has had a tremendous season, slow to get up on that last play. Been the anchor. In fact, he's had 2 healthy years back to back. Let's see what happens as he drives to the outside. That's Dennis Brown, and it's just head to head, and I think he's just got a giant headache back there as he took a shot right to the front of his head from Dennis Brown.
The backup center for the Redskins is Raleigh McKenzie, who's been playing left guard. So if Bostic can't continue, the Skins are going to have to make some shifts up front.
Russ Grimm would go in as Bostic comes out and just move Raleigh over. Going to have to do that for a play anyway, as they have stopped play for Bostic on this particular situation.
Meanwhile, Art Monk has kept the Redskins at least within hope of this game with a brilliant game. Bostic is up. Monk has caught 10 passes for 161 yards, including a touchdown and the one that put the Redskins in front early. And earlier today, the Buffalo Bills advanced to the AFC Championship game by beating the Miami Dolphins 44-34 in a prolific scoring game.
Amazing to see that many points on that bad a field in those conditions. And good to see Kelly back in action. I thought he moved around very well in that ball game. Well, there's a man who's moved around well today, Charles Haley.
First and 10 on the Redskins 42. Rippon goes the other way and overthrows Brian Mitchell. Mitchell was open for the moment.
Little throwback screen trying to stretch this defense out. But this 49er defense, we talk so much about Montana, we talk about Rice, we talk about the great action of that offense. This defense, they're the reason on a day like today that you can look at that scoreboard and see all those zeros.
Jeff Bostic is back in the game. Second down and 10. Rippon has Mitchell out of the backfield. And the versatile rookie who played quarterback in a game this year has close to the first down. Pierce Holt makes the stop and the hurry-up offense for the Redskins. Brian Mitchell going wide. Got the first down now. Redskins with 1 timeout left. Don Griffin made the tackle on that play. Redskins need 2 touchdowns to pull out this game. Tough task against the 49ers. Rippon's throw. Intended for Clark and Davis, who broke up the pass in the end zone a little while ago defending.
Tough situation. This 49er defense plays zone anyway as a high percentage of their base defense. And when they can drop way back and say, okay, you want to throw it short, complete the short passes, you got them. But they're not even giving up those short ones. They're coming up and putting some hurt on people. Kevin Fagan, I think, has had a remarkable day. We've called his name so many times on the day.
We have. Second down and 10. Rippon. And a good catch on a low pass by Brian Mitchell. And we're going to have a stoppage on the 2-minute warning. So a 5-yard gain to Mitchell. 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. We'll be back. And Merlin Olsen back at Candlestick Park, where the 49ers are 2 minutes away from advancing to the NFC Championship game. They lead 21-10, and the Redskins, with 1 timeout left, have a 3rd down and 5 on the 49ers 42-yard line.
49er cheerleaders, song girls, a little late getting out of the end zone, and the official read cash in saying, wait a minute, you got to move the people off the field down there. They grabbed their pom-poms and split.
Clock should read 2 minutes. Thank you.
The Redskins have been shut out since the first quarter. Art Monk, who's had a fabulous day, put the Skins in front with a touchdown catch. It was 10-7 Washington after the first quarter, and ever since then it's been all 49ers. Rippon has his pass batted down by Dennis Brown. And that will bring up 4th down. Redskins will go for it. They've had 3 solid opportunities to score in the second half, but 2 interceptions by the 49ers in the end zone, and then an incomplete pass in the end zone on 4th down.
And perhaps their last gasp of this season.
Rippon on 4th down, completes the pass to Gary Clark, and that will be a first down to keep the hopes going for the Redskins. They have 1 timeout left. Johnny Jackson made that tackle. Rippon has Gary Clark on a crossing pattern. He lost some yardage. Gave ground, and Don Griffin puts him down.
Trying to get out of bounds. That stop at clock and could not do it. Clock continues to run.
He had too much real estate to go to get to the out of bounds areas. 2nd down and 10. Rippon and Brian Mitchell can't hold on to that pass. That'll bring up 3rd down.
49ers again dropping everyone deep, and they're saying you can throw those short passes. We're not going to give you the chance to get deep and get the quick score and then try the onside kick.
49ers defense, the key to their season. They won half their games by 4 points or less.
Tina.
3rd down and 10. Rippon has a pass, and it's picked off.
Michael Carter, watch this.
He's going to make it. The biggest thrill for the crowd today was Michael Carter's 61-yard interception return. 28-10. This may be bigger for him than the Olympics.
Yeah. We built this run. Charles Haley, left or right side of your screen, is the man who's going to get his hands on this football. 94 right there. Look at him streaking in, hits the arm as it goes up. And now, a lineman's dream as Michael Carter, all 315 pounds of him, heads downfield. Can you believe it? Michael Carter can. This is dream time, folks. All the way to the end zone.
His first career touchdown for Michael Carter. And the 49ers will dance into the NFC Championship game. Joe Howard on the return. The coordinating producers of the NFL on CBS are Charles H. Milton III and Ed Gorin. Today's telecast was produced by Richard Zients and directed by Andy J. Kendall. The replay director was Lance Barrow. The associate producer was Peter J. Macheska. The broadcast associates were John Coleman and Jeff Gershengorn. The NFL Today was produced by Bob Monsbach and directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer of CBS Sports is David Winter, and the executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. .48 seconds to go, and the pass caught by Brian Mitchell.
This crowd chanting, three-peat, three-peat, three-peat. Well, I got to tell you, I never thought I'd see anybody in this modern era repeat, let alone three-peat.
Well, they're going to play a team with a backup quarterback next week in the NFC Championship game as Mitchell drops the ball, no matter who it is. And I think they're looking really good. You know, we talked about Montana, of course, a brilliant game, but Michael Carter won the silver medal in the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles in the shot put, and I wonder what he thinks was a bigger thrill for him, the silver medal or today.
It's been a frustrating year coming back off a knee injury, having an arch problem all during the year. I'm sure this is a real pumper for him to have a chance to shine in this playoff game.
And the pass is complete and a flip lateral to Ricky Sanders. Run out of bounds. It was Don Warren as the Redskins trying to pull out all the stops, but it's fitting, Merlin, that the 49ers defensive unit is on the field because they have shut out the Redskins for 3 quarters.
10 points early and all zeros since that time on the scoreboard by this fine defense. They've really made Rippon's life miserable. They've shut down the run game here in the second half as well, except for that one solid drive which ended in an interception.
Rippon completes the pass inside the 25. A 19-yard gain to Ricky Sanders. And the Bears and the Giants tangle tomorrow with Hostetler against Tomczak. And you wonder whether Tomczak's confidence will be what it should be to go against the Giants in their lair.
We have seen him up and down. He's played very well in a few ball games. Certainly very poorly in a couple of ball games. Tomczak, I'm sure, hoping that he can light it up a little bit tomorrow.
Well, this game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and the CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Washington Redskins, the San Francisco 49ers, and the National Football League is prohibited.
This has not been a Redskin day, but they are back in the playoffs. That's a significant accomplishment for Joe Gibbs and his troops.
Crowd chanting three-peat as Rippon's pass is caught by Hobbs. At the 10, the game is over, and the 49ers have now won 7 straight postseason games. (28-10) the final score, and Merlin, maybe the 49ers don't need a running game, huh? And right now, let's go to Pat O'Brien, who's with Joe Montana. Pat?
All right, Dick, thank you very much. Joe, congratulations for another trip to the NFC Championship game. You got off to a slow start. Was there any doubt in your mind that you could turn on the key in playoff form?
Well, no. One of the things that's been taking place all year long has been our defense. They've been keeping us in the ball game, giving us a chance to get our gears in line, so to speak, and get moving. And you know, when you play a team like this, they're going to get a lot of push, and with a lot of man-to-man coverage, they're going to get their share of big plays, and we're going to get our share. So it's just a matter of being patient. And fortunately, we had a good defense that affords us that.
Speaking of big plays, how about Michael Carter? He showed us some speed today.
They were all yelling delay a game, and it was nice for him to run some time off the clock. But it's great to see him do something like that. Any defensive lineman, man, that's their dream.
Quickly, who do you want to play, the Giants or the Bears?
Oh, we don't care. We got them here, so we'll look forward to playing either one. Both of them are good football teams, so it'll be a good game.
See you next week. Congratulations, Joe. Let's go to Leslie.
Thanks, Pat. I'm here with the disappointed Darryl Green. Darryl, you wanted to pressure Montana and to cover the receivers. What didn't work well today?
I think Montana was the key. A tremendous job of doing what we always knew he would do, and that's roll out to his right, threw some great pinpoint balls, and down the stretch did some real good work on third down. And I think he was the key. It's just really a tribute to their team, though. I mean, as down as we may be, we really have to give honor and credit where it's due, and that's to the 49ers. They've done it for a long time.
Thank you very much. Best of luck next year. Thanks a lot. Let's go upstairs to you, Dick.
All right, Leslie, thank you very much. And Merlin, Montana's a smart guy. He knew who to credit, despite his greatness, the team's defense.
He certainly did, and we know who to credit too. Montana and this 49er team. We have seen another mark in football history here today, and they continue to amaze us all.
Merlin, I had a great year with you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dick.
You're a champ. Thank you very much. And the San Francisco 49ers win it 28-10. And the victors go to the locker room. And when we come back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco, we'll come back with Greg and Terry.
Well, with the cheers of three-peat ringing in their ears, the 49ers left the field following their 28-10 victory today over the Washington Redskins, and they move on to the NFC Championship game. Greg Gumbel back along with Terry Bradshaw. Joe Montana said it best. He threw for 274 yards, but he mentioned the defense.
Well, two things you need to win if you're going to win a Super Bowl and be a champion. You need great defense, everyone knows that, and you need a great quarterback. The 49ers have always been overshadowed by Montana and his offense, but today, once again, it's the defense, and he gave them credit, and rightly so.
28-10, the 49ers advance. Now, a reminder, our CBS Sports coverage of the NFC Divisional Playoffs continues tomorrow with the Chicago Bears against the New York Giants at the Meadowlands. It all begins with the NFL today at a special time, 12 noon Eastern. That's it for today. From Candlestick Park, for all of us at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.